awful lot of them.
What, for his albums?
But not to my knowledge that they were going to be for his albums. Just conversation that carried over into his albums.
Zappa uses a lot of other people's things.
OPs, other people's. Yes, he does. Verace, Stravinsky.
Planet Suite.
That's right, though. Not very many people that know of Stravinsky. I mean, young people.
But do you think that's bad? That's bad that he just sort of lifts things and
I think
uses
so.
them?
Eclectic. If he were a nicer fellow, it would be all right.
But you are an original. I think we could say that.
Proved by the fact of my monetary status. Now.
So where do you get the inspiration from?
Right out of my mind. Yeah. I don't take other people's things. Due to the fact, one thing, I wouldn't be able to defend it if I did take something from somebody else. So you never know what they were thinking when they did something, you see. And I want to present a clarity, so I do my own, and then I'm willing to defend what I do. You see, if somebody asks me, although there's no way to really defend art, I will do something. At least I'm there, alive. You see, taking music from people that are buried and gone, I think is very far out. I think it leaves unemployment for the people that are here and now. I mean, like the poets, the writers. There's a lot of people right now that aren't even noticed. That they go back. For instance, like Mendelssohn, you know, who went back and dug up all of the old, dusty music, as opposed to the new music, you see. It could have been done. Why didn't he do his own music? Why go back and corral ghosts?
Because he was unable
he
to
needed
be
a handful
original.
of dirt. He couldn't receive the handful of dirt. He reached down and enjoy the dirt that is here now. He had to go back and what it is that he wasn't natural. That's not natural, but it's been proven to be.
Well, it's conditioning, isn't it?
Sure, conditioning. But for instance, like Zappa did the same thing, went back to old things of Stravinsky's, and even people that were gone, you know, and not here. Yet he got the lyrics of me, you see. It made it look as though it was something new, and it's not.
The lyrics.
Verace, Edgar Verace.
Well, how about your lyrics? And are they spontaneous?
Absolutely.
But then
I've
they're
never
written
read a
down.
book in my life.
But would you go up on a stage at all and just sort of, with nothing in your mind, and then just make them up?
Many times. Many times I've done that.
But the rest of the time, you do set numbers, as other bands would do.
I do, because I've found that there's no way for me to have a group if they don't get to eat, you see. And when I stand there and do it spontaneously, I did that on Trout Mask Replica. I wrote that in 8.5 hours, words and music. And it wasn't received by everyone, you see, mainly because of the promotion. People couldn't relate to it. That's a lot of it right there.
Which particular song on that album just came absolutely spontaneously?
Well, Orange Claw Hammer and The Dust Blows Forward and The Dust Blows Back, Dachau Blues. Dachau Blues. You know what I was saying there. I was saying, for instance, now I see that the kids are going back into the 30s and the 20s and the 40s and the 50s to getting the women the P-38 brassieres and the Gatling gun sleeves and all of these war type things. Going back to discover another war rather than not thinking about war and having no war now. Going back and getting this repressed war clothing atmosphere. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Camouflage, all of these things that represented a time when it was war. Why not the kids not thinking about war now, doing what they do now, rather than going back, turning their eyes inside out again?
Rather like we see nowadays, people going around with U.S. Army combat uniforms.
Yes, which is not, why combat? Maybe a uniform, but not combat.
Well, presumably
Maybe no uniform at all, but just something to cover yourself from the cold, but not that much emphasis on it. Not so important that it becomes another take up arms, you know. and get a cause going. Like, why do men, when they get together, want to cause evil? Because of embarrassment. That's why, embarrassment. The red face, always red. The constant erection. All male buildings, no regressive female buildings, holes. I'm going to build a female building, if I can, in either London or wherever they will let me build it, maybe in America, wherever. When I get the money, I'm going to build a female building down in the ground, and there will need to be no air raid for people to go down there. You see, no more fear of death, no more fear of sex because of losing oneself in an orgasm, pleasure. No more fear of that. A building with no fear of that. No uniform. Skin changes. Tan, not tan. Red when you get out of a shower. If you're light colored. Dark, maybe darker if you're dark colored. Everybody's colored, you wouldn't be able to see them. Doesn't need to be one colored uniform. Not to be all blue, all green, all khaki. Like the skin changes, the light, the shadows coming down out of the mountains change, the purples, the lighter colors, straw colors, red, people, like, why do people not realize that everybody's colored or you wouldn't be able to see them? Why one uniform? Too much attention on one area. Trouble. Not enough change. I'm for this. That everything is changing anyway, whether you admit it or not. The Western fellow, the cowboy, who came from here probably originally, went over and dug his pointed heels into the earth to stop it, or a bronco, or anything to stop it, digging the feet. People walk on the back of their heels, jar their spine, and cause brain damage, because they don't want to look like an ape. Which is a pretty smart ape. An ape is pretty smart and knows his bananas. Doesn't go bananas. Now you eat a banana, DDT before the fly, one good thing, the fly goes down your throat, there is no way that the thing will be alive by the time it hits your stomach from the DDT consumption of a human being.
Do you get so frustrated in some ways?
Not very often. Occasionally, I get frustrated by seeing people with their eyes turned backwards. Or I get frustrated by seeing a child of Beverly Hills, or sure, by myself too at times. But a child in Beverly Hills, California, or London, England, running across to India and laying down at some man's feet and expecting to have an eye open in the middle of their head.
Well, maybe they're just sort of looking around, and trying to gather whatever they can.
Why not themselves?
Why does
somebody want, I'd like to turn you on? The Beatles say, I want to turn you on. Nobody can say that to me, that they're going to turn me on. I was on when I was born. The minute I hit the air, as I said on the album Trout Mask Replica, Flash Gordon's Ape. I was on when I hit the air. You're alive in your mother's stomach, you come out. Nobody turns you on or off. You are on. Nothing, music, nothing will turn me off or on. I mean, my spark of life. I don't want people tampering with my spark of life. Well, I would like to turn you on. Man, are you kidding?
What do you expect people to get from going to one of your concerts then?
Nothing.
You mean you really expect them
Coke
to pay
on their soles. I mean, on their shoes, like maybe the sticky floor because somebody dumped over a Coca-Cola or squashing a little popcorn. But enjoying somebody on the stage is what they really are doing. I'm just on the stage singing, playing, combing my hair, whatever, drinking water. Jethro Tull is doing the same thing I'm doing in a different way. He's doing what he's doing, I'm doing what I'm doing. Honest man, like Ian Anderson and Hammond I met, and the guitar and the drummer, very honest, straight across the table, doing what they could, not taking things from other people to seem that they're more than they are at the time, intellectually. Hard work they do.
So there's no sort of end result, there's no satisfaction for you as to whether an audience enjoys it or doesn't enjoy it?
Well, there is if they enjoy it. I mean, of course, when I see human beings enjoying me and I enjoy them, it's a lot better. But if it isn't, it's still I'm enjoying myself. I'm not going up there to judge the audience whether they receive me properly or not.
Do you have any
I don't do that.
say in the music as opposed to the words? The lyrics are yours, right?
Yeah.
How about the musical side?
Right. Although there are other people playing it, and I imagine they have thoughts out of things that they've heard, and I can't do anything about that.
But you lay down, you tell them, this is what I got,
On a tape,
let's learn it.
Yeah, on a tape.
Get it together, and then we'll do it.
And that's what they want to do. We tried to play free before, and this is freer probably in this society than trying to play free openly.
But it still demands one leader, you.
Well, the only leader there is runs down the back of my leg, and anybody else that realizes that what's moving their legs and their feet, the leader, the tendon or what.
But they're not being led by their own tendons, they're being led by yours.
No, how could they be?
Well, because you're
But
giving
their
them
heart
the tape.
beats independently of mine,
Yeah.
and their fingers move by the blood that beats their heart. And the thing is that there's no way, it's a voluntary thing, you see.
But you've laid the foundations, and there's no way that building's going to be a round one when it's built square on the foundations.
No, it's a round one, and the square foundations are the fact that people don't realize to do that themselves without using me.
So this is what you hope the band will do.
They're doing it. We're beginning to do it, finally. But it's taken them a long time to be able to do that.
You also paint. You did the sleeve paintings on the last album,
Yeah.
Spotlight Kid.
Yeah.
And you brought some paintings over here.
And they were on television the other night, and I'm going to have an exhibit. The people in Liverpool saw the television show and want to have an exhibit. And
Are you going to sell them?
in Liverpool. Sure, I'll sell them.
How much are they?
I'm not sure yet. I'm really not sure. Some of them are $2,500.
Yeah. And some of them are only...
Only. But
when did you start?
Started painting at the exact same time that album came out. Did it for that album cover. Did a whole lot of things at that time right in there. I did about, just grabbed a paper. I did it on paper. Just these recent things are on canvas, never used it before. Paper's faster. I like paper better because there's not that much fight back, resistance. It's like not like pushing water. The other way is like just letting the paint go on paper, but on canvas there's a resistance. And I started out as a sculptor. When I was 3, I sculpted until the time that I was 13. The electronic music, I used a theremin on Safe as Milk album, where is the title, Safe as Milk. I was illustrating the strontium 90 in the mother's breast, the baby's not being able to nurse. And people thought I meant lysergic acid. Safe as milk, meaning the breasts, like they say in jargon, man, that's bad, meaning that's good. I was saying safe as milk. Like the milk is not safe, you say. Babies with glowing skeletons. You see? I mean, like the skeleton, the strontium 90 and the hot juice that they've allowed out of the earth in an altered form, and that chemical scene. Now replacing in the calcium deposits, making turn out the light and everybody's glowing. If you could look through the bones. The babies born now are glowing, man. I said that on Save As Milk. I said in Plastic Factory, I said girl and boy are glowing. One thing sure I know, I'm going to get a fire going. I'm going to try to change the fact, to help.
Captain Beefheart and his magic band Plastic Factory from Safe as Milk. And I'd like to thank Mr. Don Van Vliet for giving some time there for a little interview.